Meanwhile, let's
What's going on, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Flex and Rants show. Slightly different surroundings, got to do what you got to do. The show must continue, man. And the Premier League must continue, and the games must continue. And the fact that Man United can't buy a consistent winning run looks like it must continue. Look, we all know what happened at Everton. Before we look at dissecting the game and the problems around that, etc. Top four. That was a chance to another chance. I think there's a stat saying that 8 times Chelsea have dropped points. 8 times this season, and 8 times we failed to capitalise. The only time we've capitalised is when we went to their own backyard and beat them. Other than that, we're struggling to capitalise, I think. Did we capitalise another time? I think we might have beat.
They probably just got a draw and they got
Brighton
lost.
or something like we don't. Exactly. City to come up next. After that, Spurs
back
away.
Of just winning a cup as well.
Back of winning the cup. Yeah. They just slapped Real Madrid in their backyard. Like, obviously, that's going to be a tight game. But City are going to be confident, not going to fear us, obviously. Yeah. Slapped us up last time at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup, 3-0 by half-time. Passing the pad on FIFA, 3-0, you're off. Half-time, gone. Is top 4 a myth now? Or is that too reactionary considering the lack of consistency of teams in and around that? Wolves showed a great statement of intent to go to Tottenham and go, yeah, we want 4, so we'll go to Tottenham and slap them. Like, do you know what I mean? Is 4th gone, or do you still see us having a chance for it?
It's still not gone because of the inconsistency around us, innit? Chelsea, for me, they've had quite a few injuries. Those are starting to clear up now. They're out of Europe, so they don't have to worry about that. So that could actually work for them.
That could help them, innit?
That could help them, do you know what I mean? We could have missed our chance to kick on because if they get the players back and they don't have European football to think about, that could give them the extra kind of push to kind of get away from us finally. So I think we have missed the opportunity, but I wouldn't say it's gone, but it's not looking good. Same with Leicester. They've had Ndidi out, they've had Vardy out. When them man come back, they're going to pick up because they've dropped. I think I've seen that I think it's something mad, like they dropped like 13 points or something.
They haven't been themselves in the last couple of months, have they?
Like
I know we could have been 6 points, we could have just been 6 points off them and they were way clear of us, but again, we failed to do so, and it's like, every time, like, Mark said it, I think, in his match reaction, like, hope isn't a tactic. Like, we can't just keep hoping. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't keep just hoping and waiting on other teams to fall. At some point, we're going to have to take the ball by the horns and take responsibility for our own shit, and it's like, every time we get the chance to do that, we just don't. And there's 10 games to go now? Yeah,
it's not looking great, to be honest. It's not looking great, and I can't say I'm surprised, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't super. I tried to be optimistic before the game, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna win. But bruv, like, I had a feeling that game had a draw written all over it from the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
Why didn't we win that game for you?
I just think that we didn't have no tactics. You know what I mean? It was literally throw the man out there and see what they do. Like, the first half, I think, that flipping howler from De Gea, bro, like, I am losing my patience.
See, we talk about managers and tactics all the time, but after 3 minutes,
you can't legislate for that in the team talk. You can't legislate for that.
What, like, let's break that down, because...
I told you, bruv, Oscar Pistorius has better feet than David De Gea, bruv. I swear down.
It's a mad thing, isn't it?
Bro,
I don't know what he was... Like, he was like... And the worst thing was, he had the ball, everyone was cool, and he's going, right, you come here. I'm saying, you got there. Everything's cool. Right?
And he had 2 men to pass to, and then he tried to go down the middle. You're a dickhead, bro. That's why I said we should have got rid of man, bro. When he was asking for 300 grand a week, go away, bro. Do you know what I mean? You're not the guy no more. You're a good goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but bro, you ain't what you were, bro.
He is uncharacteristically making these errors.
He's past his best, bro. He's top of the table. Unforced errors, bro. Unforced. Playing for Manchester United.
Between him and Leno is doing that.
Bro, disgraceful what he did there. Do you know what I mean? And the easy option was just to pass it out. It shows that his head's gone, bro.
The only, I don't want to say positive, but the only half decent thing to come out of that is, to be fair to him, after that.
Yeah, he made the save with his foot.
He made the save with his foot, and he made another save straight after that from Calvert-Lewin as well.
Yeah, but that was curling wide anyway.
But other than that, it's like, you've set us up on that wrong foot, though. Bro, you forced us to have to, you know what I mean?
He set the tone for the game, because you see Everton, they're physical. They like to go direct. They play the 4-4-2. Calvert-Lewin will run the channels and do all these things, but
Yeah.
they make you work, innit? And the worst thing you could possibly do is give them something to hold
Straight
on to.
away as well.
Straight
3 minutes
away.
in. Because even after that, like, we dominated. For the first time in a while, I will say that. I will be honest.
We dominated.
I said it. I felt like we were going to score.
We
though.
dominated. No, but we dominated.
I felt like we was going to score.
We dominated in areas that it wasn't important to dominate in, and that's why territory is important, innit? Because we had 60% possession, but we had 4 centre mids on, and they had 2, so we monopolised the ball. But actually, apart from long shots from Bruno, what did we create?
Matic had 2 shots.
Yeah.
One hit the
Matic
bar,
hit the
and one
bar,
was well saved.
And one was well saved, yeah, but the Matic shot hit the bar. They're all long rangers, bruv. We didn't have, how many touches in their area did we have in that half?
Well, to be fair, I think that comes down to not just the lack of well, it is lack of tactics, but also, you see how when we were talking off camera as well, and I was saying it to Mark, you got the 2 strikers, yeah? You got them 2 strikers there, yeah? In Martial and Greenwood. Now, if you're going to play a 2 with a diamond, yeah? For me and you have to be a partnership then. We got to stay close together. We got to bounce off Bruno. I've got to come short, you've got to come in behind, or whatever. But what's happening is you're going out there playing left wing and left forward. Mason's going out there.
Out to the right.
They were too far
apart.
apart.
You know what it is, yeah? Characteristically, yeah, in a diamond, them 2 shouldn't be playing together with no width. What you need in that is you need a striker like a Garlo that's going to stretch you, stay on the last man, and try and get in behind and stretch you. Martial don't stretch. Martial don't run in behind. He likes to come to the ball. So does Mason. So what do we do there? Them 2, stylistically, were never meant to play together in that system. It doesn't make sense. You need someone that's going to occupy the defenders. Nobody occupied the defenders with them 2. They were both trying to get the ball in space, get involved. Mason done it well. He dropped in on the right-hand side, little one touches, moving in.
He looked after the ball well, but he couldn't get into a position.
Yeah. Stuff I wanted from
really
James
threaten.
when he was on the right, to take care of the ball, little touches and get involved in that. That ain't his game. Mason done that well. But what he should have done was he should have moved Mason to the right, Martial left, Ogallo in the middle. Or, why do you need 4 central midfielders against 2 in the middle? That's
why we were bossing it in that area.
That's why we were bossing it, but really, long shots, bruv. Like Matic, bruv, like this geezer can't shoot, and all of a sudden his shooting boots were just on.
Literally, I said at the end of the game, I was like, it's almost a shame that, like, it kind of shows where we're at, that, like, the best chances are falling to Matic, kind of like at the edge of the area. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like we're getting Tony clean through at Pickford. We're not getting Mason being able to come in off his
after the game,
we didn't create those opportunities.
Maguire's thing, and he was like, "Oh, we dominated." I'm like, "Bruv, you're talking out your arse, bruv." Like, we dominated possession. We didn't dominate territory, because actually, when Everton were hitting that straight ball in between Maguire and Lindelof, the strikers were just tearing them apart, running in between them. And having them bloody growing kitten, bruv, it was terrible. Like, just a straight ball as well. Everton weren't doing nothing fancy, you know. It was a straight ball.
They were poor.
Maguire and Lindelof were just under
second half though,
but then
we get to the second half, which you can
50 corners.
You can look at it exactly. You can look at it managerially and say, well, Carlo Ancelotti, proven top manager, he's seen his team get dominated after getting an early goal, because we did dominate them, like you said, in that area. Yeah. And he thought, right, how am I going to have to change it? To be honest, I'm not going to sit here and act like I saw the tactical masterclass. I weren't really interested in what Everton were doing. I was the one looking at us.
Difference.
But even with just the way they applied themselves and the way they were on the ball, taking care of it, their intensity, their pressing, just that alone, like even if I don't know exactly how we tweaked it formation-wise, but that is another concern. The fact that actually we went into half-time in the ascendancy, so you're thinking, all right, do you know what? It was an awful start. We've managed to get back in because Bruno's just made it happen, because without Bruno, we just got nothing. It looks like we can probably go on and win this.
Mistake as well.
Do you know what I mean? The battle of the goalkeeper mistakes. But I thought, sitting in there, do you know what? I think we can go on and win this though. I do. Everton are not great. They're not great for all that. They're not great. Do you know what I'm saying? Walcott just dead. I didn't see him do nothing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Richarlison, I thought they kicked him off the park at times. Yeah. They didn't want it. He was getting mash up. So I know he had something to say in that chance at the end though, because he's a good player. But I thought for large parts they muscled him off the ball well. They kicked him off the park. Calvert-Lewin did what he does, which is win headers and that, but he weren't getting in behind. Apart from the first 10 minutes, there wasn't that much danger. Do you see what I'm saying? But because we lost our impetus and then we just started getting pegged back and we couldn't even attack. We had that one attack near the end of the half, the end of the second half where we nearly won it. Other than that, there was nothing. But
that's what it tells me is freestyle football, bruv. That's exactly what it is. First half, we came out and the players just kind of did what they were doing. They didn't know that they were under instruction, bro. Like, I couldn't tell what formation we were playing for the whole game. I couldn't tell. Like, I was like, are we playing a diamond? But then who's the deepest player? Because Matic is popping up, banging shots on the edge of the box. Like, is Fred the deepest player?
No, Fred was on the left of it.
But you see what I'm saying? But then McTominay, like, what was he doing? Like, I didn't really see him.
They all look alien. They actually looked like, I'm not really sure.
They all looked like they were just doing their own thing. They looked like they hadn't practiced the formation or nothing. There was no one commanding anything. Bruno was popping up on the left side, right side. Bruno was trying his hardest to try and make something happen on his own. Do you know what I mean? The strikers were like that. Do you know what I mean? And then there was nothing in the middle, but then we weren't putting crosses in. Like the fullbacks, Luke Shaw didn't put in one cross for the whole game. Like, it was a disaster, bruv. If you're playing a 4-4-2 diamond, you rely on width from your fullbacks. You rely on it. You need it, bro, more than anything. Because if you've got two strikers, why would you not be putting crosses in the box? If you've got two strikers, it makes no sense.
Or why would you then ask those two strikers to vacate that central area to come out? To be that width.
If you're going to play two strikers, in that formation, tell them to stay within the width of the 18-yard box. You might
Absolutely.
But this is the thing. This looks like these men were not coached, and it's pissing me off. 72 minutes before we made a change. So it takes you over an hour to realise that actually the formation's not working, bro. Why do you need 4 CMs against 2? For what? Do you know what I'm saying? You easily just revert to a 5 at the back, bring on Brandon Williams, and get width that way. Or you go to a 4-3-3, you put Agallo down the middle, Martial down the left, easy work, Greenwood on the right.
And because the thing is,
he took off McTominay anyway.
Exactly, because he's obviously struggling for fitness and whatever, he's just come back, that's fair enough. But I would have forgiven Oli more so if, like you're saying, like, okay, first half, he could argue, looking at it from his side, that, all right, the mistakes happened, we're now on top of them, we're looking like we're going to create. Whether or not it was a goalkeeper mistake from Pickford, we did score. Then we go in at half-time 1-1. But from that point, that's when I agree with you in terms of, well, they're playing a 4-4-2. It's only Tom Davis and Sigurdsson in there, I think, was it?
Yeah.
Is it Tom Davis and Sigurdsson?
Davis,
yeah.
And neither of them are particularly defensive either.
Do you know what I mean? So why do we need to have 4 there? Let's go to a 3 and then create some width. I think he could have changed it a lot earlier, I agree. And then taken off Martial 5 minutes ago and then bringing on Brandon Williams. It just doesn't add up. I would have even bought Jesse. I would even have bought Jesse on yesterday.
Was he playing Brandon left wing? Where was he
playing? I couldn't really work it out. Actually, it was left wing. It was left wing. Or left. It was left wing because he went to a 3.
But do you see what I mean? Like the whole thing. Like that's
because Martial went to left wing and then Agallo went up front.
Buying into this crap, bro. I saw a video go viral the other day and the guy was like, "Oh, F Pochettino, like if he comes in X, Y, Z and all these rubbish, bro. Stop forcing it, bruv. He's crap. Like, this Everton, he come up against Ancelotti and you saw, he played his hand, bruv. He's like, oh, I've got all these decent players. I'll just play them all. No, it's about balance, bro. It's about having a philosophy, about having a style of play. There's nothing to buy into with this guy other than him calling these men by nicknames and talking about the United DNA and all this. It's all a joke, mate. Like, I've got absolutely no time for watching crap like that. He watched them die for 45 minutes in the second half. And did nothing, bro.
It didn't make sense why the changes come so long.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
Surely you'd bring an attacking player, like you'd bring Jesse or an Andreas, like something.
If you're trying to get a goal, why do you bring a left back on that left wing? For what, bro? You do that when you're trying to defend a lead or something like that. It don't make no damn sense. The Mata change, fair enough, Mata's had some good form.
And Mata set in Bruno, actually, which actually led to that chance where we nearly won.
But why would you bring Mata on the right side, instead of giving Mason a run out there? Because if anyone's going to get you a goal from there, it's probably going to be Mason Greenwood. Do you know what I mean? You've wasted him in the
From reverting to the actual system,
and then you revert to a system where he could get more freedom and more of a chance
where he's been playing well.
and you take him off. Like, none of it makes sense, bruv. Like, you lot try and make it make sense for me, innit? Because some of man got bare answers for Oli, give him time and that, bruv. I'll give a man over a year and it's a shambles. I still don't understand what he's trying to do. If his solution is just buy loads of good players, and hopefully it will click, it won't, bruv. Man saw our 4 best midfielders, that we have fit and available all on the pitch, bruv, and we still looked crap. So what? The system will always be king, bro. I don't care about how many players you have and you put them there. You could put any players into that system. If you don't have a balance, what good is it, bro?
And we've been talking about Bruno as well, and don't get me wrong, he's had a fantastic impact, but I'm worried already, we're worried, we've been talking about it loads, that it almost is too much of a Lone Ranger impact.
It's forced, bro.
Do you know what I mean? I saw that meme where he's got the Man United badge and he's bruck up with his back. He's handing over, he's just carrying man. You know what I'm saying? Like, over the top.
He's super forced. Every time he gets the ball,
he's trying so hard.
It's almost
isn't it?
like he feels like he has to shoot. He has to do a flick, or he has to do something. Do you know what I mean? And it's a combination of probably him knowing that the man around him are not levels, but also him really trying to prove himself, innit? Like, he's got nothing to prove. Once the team are playing better, he'll be able to relax. But I can almost feel that he knows that if he doesn't do anything, nothing will happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like
he knows that.
But that's making him, like, if you look, this with Bruno Fernandes right now, yeah, it's like, we're not in a position to criticise him because we're so rubbish. But if you're looking at the fine thing, he is
constructive criticism.
Yeah, 100%. So there are times where he should look after the ball or make the
Yeah.
extra pass, keep the thing, when he is just trying to slap from all angles, like,
Bro,
literally.
and the man pulled up a stat saying that like he lost the ball like over 20 times and that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Do you know what I mean? Because that means he's trying to make things happen. But when it was other players, when it was Fred, the man were like, oh yeah, but he gives the ball away, yeah, because he's passing forward. You see, when you pass the ball forward, you tend to give the ball away, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what happens. Anyone can pass sideways.
Yeah.
that's why
De
you see
Bruyne
players
does
like Joe Allen and them, man,
Get mad stats,
96% pass accuracy, like man Xavi and that. And he's dead food, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because you're just going backwards and sideways,
Backwards
or
and
playing,
sideways.
or playing the 5 to 10
when
yards.
you're trying to play passes that penetrate defenses and actually make the difference, you will give the ball away. Do you know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. But what it shows is that he ain't really got faith in many men around him to create nothing. He knows if I don't bang this, it's not happening. The goal he scored, he's probably the only player on the pitch that takes that shot.
Yeah.
He didn't even think about it.
Oh, 100%. Well, even at Sporting, he's been doing that for a hot minute.
There's a reason why the guy's numbers are the way they are, because he's a proper shooter, innit? So I've got time for him. But he's basically saying, I need help. Because he's just banging shots. There you go.
And we said as well, by getting Fernandes, we did admit, look, he's not going to be able to come and solve all of our problems. And there is going to be a big reliance on him. And lo and behold, that's exactly what's happened.
So that's why
the positive side is that he has got some numbers down on the board already that have already helped us, you know.
That's why when you get these numpties talking about, oh, Fernandes has come to replace Pogba. Like, you can't have more than one top player in your team, bro. Like, you didn't see Carrick and Scholes play together, or Keane and Scholes, or Keane, Scholes, Beckham, Giggs together. Bruv, what kind of club are we that we're talking about, oh, now we've got one top player in, one has to go out, bruv. Like, what are we, bruv? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you need wobble
We
your
want that
heads,
quality
mate.
in abundance, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? We need that. So we don't have Bruno forcing it because there's no one else around him to kind of create nothing. Him and Pogba in the same team will take stress off both of them. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to be looking. We need to be building our starting 11 and bringing in better players so that these men don't feel like they have to do everything themselves.
Let us know what you guys are saying about that Everton game. Was it a 2 points drop for you, or was it a decent point? I haven't seen a lot of people say it's a great point.
We were lucky.
Because and the fact that, you know what, in the context of going to Goodison Park, you can argue that, tough place to go pick up a point again. But in the context of our season, it's not good. It's the 8th or 9th time we've bottled it. I'm fed up of seeing it. At what point are we going to just grasp that we have to be in control of our own fate?
Bro, Harry Maguire got man of the match from defending headers from corners.
And exactly, and that was only
in
exactly
the second half.
100%.
And I thought that they were going to score from a set piece.
Yeah.
They hit the post, Sigurdsson as well. De Gea didn't move.
Kept giving away some. There was another free kick as well that he gave away that I think hit the wall, but he was giving away some dangerous in the stadium. I think it was his second free kick, because after he hit the post, I was, I'm not watching. I just looked down. I just thought it was going to go in.
First one, I thought he scores the second one.
Yeah, or Baines. I could just see Baines just doing that thing. So yeah, let us know where you stand on that, and do you think top 4 is over? I agree with you to a certain. I think that because of the inconsistencies in and around that, I think it's just going to go to the wire. Yeah. Even if we do lose against City, which could happen, we'll talk about that later in the show. But I'm actually really worried about Wolves. Before we finish off on this section, I'm worried about Wolves because
Wolves are cold.
they look like they want blood. They slapped up thingy in who did they slap up? Espanyol, whatever Spanish team it was in the Europa League. 4-0, comfortable, whatever. Went and obviously got through in the second there. When I saw Jimenez's goals yesterday,
bruv, he sent my man for a Mars bar, bro. Like,
he is
just
proper.
Dropped him.
Jota just doing a madness,
dropped him.
And it was Traore. When I think it was Tangang, what's the left back's name? He tried to clean him out, and he just
dislocated his shoulder and that. And
dislocated his shoulder from that.
And popped it back in, blood, and carried on playing.
These men want blood. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? and I think they've got Brighton next.
Yeah.
And we've got
and they're only
City.
1 point behind us. So yeah, they'll pass us. They'll pass us.
I'm looking at 11 on points.
Yeah, goal difference actually. Yeah.
So there you go. Let us know what you think about the top 4 aspirations for Man United. Right, let's move on to Mason Greenwood. I want to talk about him. I like to take notes from the fan cams to see, you know, and kind of use them as talking points. So Ricky said to me, Flex, I like the kid. I think he's got a great future.
I like
his
Ricky
goals.
as well. I think he's got a great future, but he says some wild things.
He does. Let's see how wild you think this is and see what you guys think. He said he doesn't really think that Mason is quite there yet in terms of starting games more often than not. He thinks that there's better players than him in that position to start games. He thinks that some games pass him by. He likes the fact that he's scored double figures in all competitions, and he thinks he should still be coming in here or there as opposed to being a bit more of a focal point.
But Mason doesn't really start games, so that's not really valid. Mason scored most of his goals coming off the bench. He hasn't scored from starting, so that doesn't really count. Like, I was surprised to see Mason start that game. He doesn't start often. So, yeah, I think that's void, to be fair. And I think that he does need to be coached in terms of the system, innit? He's a striker. He's extremely talented. His finishing is second to none, bro. Like, the goals he scores, he's the only player in the team that can score them. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no debating with that. With Mason, because he's playing in loads of different systems, sometimes he's playing in a 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it, sometimes in a 4-3-3, whatever. He's been asked to play in about 3 different formations in different positions, and he's just a goal scorer. He just wants to play up front and score goals, innit? So when he plays from the right, he's not quite sure. The game does bypass him at times because strikers don't get involved, really. Do you know what I mean? Goal scorers like Mason. You know what I mean? It's like, if you had Van Persie, you wouldn't play him wide right. You know what I mean? He's a goal scorer. He wants to be within a whip of the 6, with the 18.
But also, I feel a lot of that happens as well because everything seems to come mostly down our left-hand side. Especially when James is playing. Although James's output's been poor, we still persist. Like, it's like I can tell it's a clear tactic.
Was down there before, like,
do you know what I'm saying? And everything used to go down that side. Do you know what I mean? And Brandon Williams was linking up well. And because of where I sit in OT as well, where my season ticket is, on that side, we always attack the East Stand first. Like, I can always notice that every first half, it's like, right, I see a lot because it's always coming down that side. Batches is falling off there. I can always see that that's happening, and I'm like, I don't get that.
But that's not actually his fault.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He gets starved of a lot of the ball.
He gets starved of a lot of the ball, but also his movement, his natural instinct is to try and head towards the goal.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Or
like kind of across the
or
defender.
Or even when he does come short,
left.
little one touch back, spinning, and he wants to get in behind. That's how he plays. So sometimes he doesn't get involved, but I like that though. Do you know what I mean? Because some of these guys like players that, okay, cool, if the ball's not coming to them, just go looking for it. But then when we want to switch it to the right, there's no one there. So
I felt for him yesterday because being asked to play in that too should actually help him. You think, okay, you can play in a partnership, all right, that's cool. But how it was deployed, I know we're going back to the Everton game, but I'm just obviously we're talking about Greenwood, but like it's another example of actually, play here for us, but you're gonna have to now play here, but not just actually play there. You've now got to play on the wing. You've got to now come inside and you've got to go back out again. I just think for a young player, it's difficult.
A lack of system and a lack of coaching, that's all it comes down to. Most decent managers, if they've got 2 strikers, everyone knows who comes short, who goes long. You know what I mean? Like, Yorkie liked the ball more to feet, Coley liked it in behind. Like, everyone knows, like, you have combinations. You know what I mean? Same with Sheringham and Solskjaer. Sheringham liked it to feet, Solskjaer wanted to run in behind. Like, why do you play 2 players that like the ball into them, bro? Just play a Garlo, bro. Like, occupy the centre backs, back into it, hold it, lay it off.
Because even when he come on, he didn't get a kick until that thing happened at the end.
He didn't get a kick,
He didn't even touch the ball.
But because of the way he wants to play, the 2 up front would have suited having him and Martial, or him and Greenwood, him and someone. But then to not play him and to play them 2, who stylistically want to kind of drift and get on the ball and stuff, it made no sense. And especially when you don't have like a build-up through midfield, bro. Like, we don't have it. Like, when we're attacking, there's not a specific way that we attack. It's whatever. If Bruno wants to come short and get it, he'll get it. If he goes to Fred, goes to Matic, he goes sideways. Shaw comes up, then passes it backwards, and then we go back round and we're recycling the ball. If you're a striker, you're making 4 runs and not getting the ball.
Yeah, it's a common theme.
You know what I mean?
Theme. Where's Mason's best position?
He's a striker. Do you know what I mean? So he needs to play up front, obviously, but if he's not going to play...
Is that going to be an issue because we've got Martial in the 9?
No, really, because he can play from the right, but he can play from the right under a good coach in a good system, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because Mo Salah's a striker. He's not a winger. He plays from the right, but he's a striker. And he bangs goals from the right because he's a striker.
System.
He's not a right winger. Right wingers don't bang flipping 40 goals. Do you know what I mean? He's a striker, bro. But he's playing in a system where he knows if I make these kind of runs, I've got Firmino coming deep, he's going to play me and etc, bro. That's what it is. Same with Sterling was scoring tap-ins at the back post for City. De Bruyne, that ball across. Bruv, every game, De Bruyne are just whipping crosses across a man and tapping it in. But what do we have? We don't do anything consistently well other than drop points, blood. That's all we do consistently well.
We're consistently inconsistent.
In the game, we don't do anything consistently well, which tells me the coaching is diabolical, bro. Because I watch Wolves, they're well drilled. You know what they're going to do. They're compact. You know what they're going to do. You know when the ball goes up to their strikers, how they overload. One holds it, one goes in behind.
Devastating. They're actually pleasing to watch.
Bro.
Innit? As a neutral, they're our direct competition right now. But I know it keeps coming back to Wolves. If there's any Wolves fans watching, big up yourself. But I do think it's a good example of actually, if you do have the quality of coaching and you do have the right players in the right parts of the system, they're almost unplayable.
Bro, you look at a Bielsa team, you look at Nuno as well, top manager, bro. And the thing is, the amount of money that they spent on their squad, it ain't that much. But he's got players that are bought into the system, the way they're playing, they know what they're doing. Everyone knows what their job is and every player fits a certain profile, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a manager that knows what he's doing. Our manager don't have a clue, bruv. And you see it in the performances every week. That's why we can't consistently do anything. If you've got no consistency, it's down to coaching. Because even if the players aren't good, when you played Stoke under Pulis, you knew what they were going to do every game because they practiced it. You knew that Rory Delap was there just try that ball and he's trying to hit the back post, blood. You knew what they were going to do.
Crouchy back stick.
Yeah, you knew what they were going to do, bro.
Ricardo Fuller.
There you go. When you played Sam Allardyce Blackburn, you know, man like Morton Pedersen and them, man, they're trying to drop the ball on man's head. Like, you know, when you play certain teams, you know what they're going to do.
Burnley, same thing.
Bro, you know what they're going to do without even watching. Before the game's kicked off, you know exactly how they're going to set up. Who's going to make what run. Who they're going to play through. Who's their main guy. With us, it just depends on who's playing.
And in the second half, they almost tried to do a number on Bruno because he wasn't as influential. He hardly touched the ball.
That's it,
you know?
because
and that going forward could be a problem.
He's their only threat. Let's nullify him.
And that could get Bruno swamped in the next sort of 10 games when people, you know, it's like when there's a new signing and people work them out or whatever.
There you go. Look at Daniel James.
Stop him getting the ball. Stop the supply on him, and Man United won't have much else. That does worry me because it's the lack of invention. And even when we've been winning games, so take out. I think you have to take out the isolated results. So when you take out when we slap people. When we've slapped like Bruges 5-0 and all these kind of things, take out the isolate. When we beat Norwich 3-1, you know, they were down and out pretty much. When we beat Newcastle after they made loads of mistakes and we ended up winning 4-1, I think it was 3. When you take out isolated games, when you actually deep it, it's like we don't consistently make chances.
Nope.
Like, and I know some smart ass will probably come up with some stat that counteracts that and all of that.
No, but there is no stats.
I know, but people like to do that.
I put up the stats for the most chances missed, like goal scoring opportunities, and there was one Manchester United player.
Was it Rashford? Isn't it?
Rashford.
Yeah, right. So there you go.
With 9, bro.
So that's
all missing 20 chances.
There you go. So I'm saying, so the likenesses of it is that we have to be extremely prolific because we don't have a barrage of chances. That for me is the biggest thing. I think if you're looking at everything in the context of the season, there's two sides to it. There's two sides to everything. But it's almost like I said, when I was growing up, and I wanted to stay at my friend's house and my mum, or I want to stay out late. And I'll go, Mum, but Mum, Rants is allowed out late. She goes, Rants is not my child. I don't care. Let's talk about arting. You're my son. This is our household. This is how it's going to run. So what I mean by that analogy is that we have to look at ourselves. So in the context of the league, all right, we're in and around fourth. There's still a chance. But if he gets it, but then ourselves.
But that's why when you get people like Robbie Savage saying, well, look at Wolves, you're above them. All of this nonsense, bruv.
But not for long, because look now.
But all these teams, but look at Sheffield United, look, you're above them. It's not about us being above them, it's about what we are doing. What we are doing is not good enough. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. Too many men are more worried about what everyone else is doing, which is why they're happy with this crap. They're not actually assessing
it helps you to keep your bar on the floor when you do that. Do you know what I mean? But I do feel, I get there's a time to go, boy, but you know what though, having said that, we're lucky that and that. Because it's true, we are lucky that Chelsea keep messing up. We are lucky that Tottenham are just had injuries and have fell off the pace. We are lucky that Wolves maybe started badly, right? They're coming on strong. Sheffield United, we're lucky that we're all about the same level.
Yeah.
Like, we're not in terms of to watch, but in terms of point outs, but we clearly are. But
in terms of
when you're looking
output,
at it,
we are the same level.
Yeah.
Even though as a squad and man for man, we're better than all these teams. But actually, overall output, our output is lower than the sum of our parts. And that is proof of a poor manager.
when you actually break it down, though, I know we keep talking about Wolves, because the Sheffield United one I get, we're better player for player. But someone like Wolves,
Wolves have got some ballers.
are we even that much better than them player for player? If you actually deep it, if you've done a 1 to 11.
No, but I think in the right system, yeah, like we could proper, like, we could class.
Is Martial good as number 9 as thingy? Out and out number 9 as
He's
Raul
not really,
Jimenez?
no, but they're different kinds of strikers, innit? Like, he's like a proper shithouse with tech, do you know what I mean? And Martial's just a slippery bastard. Like, they're different. In the right systems, yeah, if you
Is
had...
Traore not better than Greenwood? More effective?
Yeah, I'd say so. Do you know what I mean? I'd say more effective because he's physical. Do you know what I mean? But actually, on the ball, Traore looks a bit of a mess. He looks like he's on ice skates, man. Like, you watch him, you don't.
But look what he's doing, though.
I know, but
He's that erratic guy, like how St. Maxim is. Like,
that's
just
what I
bare
mean.
erratic, but they make things happen.
He just looks like Lukaku with a gym membership, blood. That's what he looks like.
Or we could have Andreas on the right hand side who's not doing anything. We can have
Andreas
Jesse on the
is
right hand side who hasn't
washed.
been anything. Mason Greenwood getting isolated out there. Or Dan James, he's better than Dan James.
Of course.
Neves and Moutinho.
Yeah, Moutinho's an old man though. Like, Moutinho, as good as he is, he's an old man, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't take him in our team ahead of any of our midfielders. He's an old man, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
But the system of how these players
he can
all
play
work.
in his flip-flops, yeah, because he's playing for Wolves.
Is Conor Cody better than Lindelof?
Okay,
an argument.
Possibly, yeah. It's a
It's
conversation.
an argument Willy Bolly is.
It's a conversation, isn't it? It's a conversation. But I still think we're better than them.
Yeah,
Do you know what
I
I mean?
know, and I know what you mean, but I just wanted to be like,
And I just think I have a lot of respect for Wolves because of the amount of money they've spent. They've got a clear philosophy. The manager's come in with a plan.
Yeah.
And I think Ollie's plan was just to get man wearing suits again. Do you know what I mean? And just to bring back the same food in the canteen that he had, bruv.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, it's a joke, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, man CV ain't getting him. Like, we sack him tomorrow. He's not getting a job in the Premier League ever again. And this is what man are singing for. It's embarrassing, isn't it? Like, I'm tired of watching this, bro, because it's not even like, it's common sense things that he's getting wrong, bro. Like, you can get man off Twitter that have never laced a pair of football boots and never managed a football team of any level that can see where he's going wrong, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's not rocket science.
But how much? It's not, because some of these are, Flex is always trying to defend Ollie and I. But it's important. We have to look at both sides, yeah? I'm just saying, how much of it, though, is like, it is a big rebuild, have to get rid of loads of players who ain't good enough. We do need loads more players in that are better. It's a work in progress. How much of it is that?
Oh, it is a work in progress, but here's my thing, yeah?
Yeah. Because I was going to say, because I think sometimes people, because you don't rate Ollie, I think your thing is like, I don't want it, I don't care.
Yeah, I have
but
to
do
make
you
it,
ever
I have
see,
to make
do you
it
ever see,
known that he's crap in it. So there's
but do you see the other side of like, it is going to take time. He has got to get rid of loads of players.
Because I don't think it's a hard job. I honestly don't. I feel like these men are making a mountain out of a molehill.
You don't think it's that hard a job?
No, it's not a hard job. You just
so
need to
why
get
are we
the
still
right,
4 or 5 managers?
Because we don't get the right man. Do you know what I mean? This Pochettino thing feels like the Klopp Liverpool moment. It feels like...
You think?
Yeah, it feels like that. Klopp was the right man for Liverpool at the right time. Now Pochettino is out of a job. He's the right man at the right time. If we don't get him in the summer, it tells me this club is not serious. That's what it tells me, regardless of where we finish in the league. Because it feels like that. It feels like he was just destined to be at the club. Just like Klopp came to United and he was like, nah, this ain't the club for me. And he went to Liverpool and he's flourished. I feel like this is the club for Pochettino, bro. I feel like we've got a young squad as well. We've got a young squad and he'll recruit the right way. He'll bring in right people. His net spend's always low. And he always knows the kind of players he wants to identify, bro. When I look at players, when I look at Man United, why are you strengthening your bench, yeah, when you've got a man starting that should be on the bench? Strengthen your starting 11. The Daniel James signing didn't make sense to me, bro. It really didn't make sense.
Because we brought him in to be a squad player, but really we need starters now. But then he's gone in to be a starter, really, innit?
15 minutes.
Do you know what I mean? He's coming to be a starter.
Bruv, like on a level, we've brought man in, yeah, to be a starter, really. And he's barely a squad player because I tell you what, you take away his pace, he's not even better than our academy players. He's not better than Chong. Like, technically, he's not.
And you don't even rate Chong.
And I don't even rate Chong. But technically, at least Chong, if you give him the ball, like, he might be able to kind of get his head up and, like, do something every now and then. Like, he had a shot the other game that just went wide.
Against
do you know what I mean? Like, he's got a bit about him. Angel's way better than him. Can't get a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then there's other players like Laird and all of that. Even though they don't play in his position, they're, in terms of talent, they're better than him. He's just fast, bro. That's it. And he's playing ahead of all of these men, and we paid money for him. So to me, that don't make no sense. If you're going
could Pochettino come in and get a player out of him in a different system? You know, you like to talk about systems and suiting the player, different managers coming in. Could Daniel James be utilised better?
Possibly. You'd have to coach him. For me, he looks like a wing back. If I was managing that team, I'd play him as a wing back, or I wouldn't play him, because he works hard. He's got pace. He ain't really got skill to beat a man. You just push it down the line, bro. I'll play him as a wing back. Like, you could get a job out of him.
Or was he just better on the left hand side?
Yeah, but even then, you know what I mean. He was cutting inside, and he put a few in the top corner, and then it stopped happening. You know what I mean? Like,
but you see that though. That I know it's only a couple of isolated moments, but when he did start, I was there with you at Southampton when we saw him put it at top bins. That shows that you can actually do it. Then he went on international break and did it for Wales again. It was a common theme. It shows that he can do it. Is it a case of people just worked that out and stopped him cutting in, so then that's what he's got to his game?
And then they send him down the outside.
Or as a team, we just haven't been able to get out.
You work Daniel James out, know that he always wants to come in on inside. And the difference between him and Martial is, when Martial, you know he wants to come inside, but his ball control, close control is so good, and his change of direction that you can't stop him. He can change his mind and then go back down the outside and drop you. Once Daniel James commits to coming inside, he has to come inside. You know what I mean? With Rashford, when he commits to come inside, he can maybe do a little step over and then, or a little flip flap and go the other way. Daniel James ain't got that. You just push it down the outside and then flash.
He does look very one-dimensional.
And if you're a decent right back, you know what he's going to do, and you just show him outside and he's done. Do you know what I mean? So you don't bring in players to strengthen your bench when you've got bench players starting. You strengthen your 11 and you move the players that aren't good enough to the bench.
Then you get the competition for places by bringing the players on the bench.
Because actually having a bench of like people like Jesse Lingard, Pereira, Daniel James, Scott McTominay, having these men as an option to come on after we're already winning the game, it don't look that bad. But when you're starting all four of them, your team's bleeding, bro. If you're starting all four of them, like what kind of level is your team if you're starting all four of them, man? And there've been games where all four of them man have been on the pitch.
Okay. Right, we're gonna hit up the question section now. We're probably at about half an hour on this video, aren't we? I think we're doing all right, about half an hour. So we'll keep going for another 15 or 20 minutes, so that's fine. Question section. At Gibson Brian 4 says, would you bring back Henderson and sell De Gea? And if Pogba stays, should we buy Grealish?
Yes and yes. I said it as well yesterday. On Sky, I said, boom, get rid of De Gea now, innit? I've had enough of him. I said it before when he wanted a new deal, 300 grand. I was like, you're not worth that, mate. Do you know what I mean? Get rid of him. Henderson should be England's #1, absolutely, because Tooth Pickford in goal, brother, with his little hands, bro. You know what I mean? T-Rex, he's awful.
He's proper
rash. He's a proper two-bob
kick
goalkeeper.
It out of play or
two-bob keeper. Henderson needs to be the United #1. Our #2 sorted. Romero's only
But sometimes is that too much? You know, like one good season. You know that whole one good season, everyone starts raving. He's been at Sheffield United in a well-drilled team.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
He's in a defensive team that's set up to kind of protect him a lot of the time. Does it mean he's going to go Man United and do that?
You say that, but
is that the level?
You say that, but I tell you what, you probably make more saves. You probably make more saves playing for them, bro. If you look at it, the thing is, De Gea's conceded more goals from chances that he should have saved. Than any
Which you don't normally associate with him, though.
Yeah,
as well.
that should have saved, but then he'll make the saves that he's not meant to with his feet. So then people think boom, boom. But no, and actually, his commanding of the box is abysmal. He's terrible at coming for crosses. Terrible, bro. He turns away from it and closes his eyes and that. And he doesn't command the penalty area. And his feet are terrible as well.
I think there's definitely a case of that De Gea's in decline. Definitely.
In decline, he's declined.
He's that's what I'm saying. He's keep going about because he's still such a great shot stopper. He's still going to pull out those saves. So we can't disrespect what he has done.
But shot stopping.
He's still one of the top keepers in the world.
Yeah,
of course. He's still in the top 10, 15 keepers in the world.
He's in the top 10.
But he's just not in the top 3 or the top 5 anymore.
He's not in the top 5 anymore.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, for the amount of money that he's on,
Oblak's better than him. Ter Stegen's better than him.
But there you go. For the money that he's on now, do we risk losing Henderson, that we can get 10 years out of? Because he's not going to stay on loan for another year.
Yeah,
stay on loan for
he
another
needs
year.
some football, yeah.
He needs football. He's going to get a permanent move.
Or Sheffield United might want to buy him outright.
So do we lose the future England number one for the next 10 years? Because he probably is. Do you know what I mean? Do we lose him for someone in De Gea's form? I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
See, now this is very interesting actually as a debate. Actually, we'll go to the next question in a second because let's throw that to you guys. Is it worth cashing in on De Gea now? He's just signed a new contract, so obviously he's very lucrative. He's a big commodity. He can still get a big move, and we get decent.
And he looks like a
decent money for him.
prick as well. Bro.
After he conceded that goal, though, I was a bit like, because obviously you can't see it on TV, but when I watched it back and they showed the close-ups of him, it's hard to judge because maybe he was just stunned. But I got the impact of like, oh, he looks a bit.
Bruv, De Gea always looks moody.
Looks like he don't really care.
But it doesn't suit the agenda, bro. Everyone always talks about Martial, he don't smile and that. De Gea always looks like he's moody. All the time. Look at his face.
He smiled when I met him in a hotel.
Yeah, well, of course.
But I know what you're saying.
He always looks moody on the pitch. You see him just banging the crossbar, walking. He looks like he's kind of dragging his arms and that. He always looks like that. That's always his body language. He's always been like that. And when he makes a mistake, it's kind of like, do you know what I mean? Because I'm one of the best players. Player of the year, 3-4 times and that? Like, bruv, he almost looks like he feels like he doesn't have to try no more.
Well, he knows he's definitely number one. Or it depends how patient Dean Henderson's going to be. Because if he really wants that dream move to be Man United number one, it could be a thing where you go, all right, I'll tell you what, we bring you back. Sorry, Romero, you know what I'm saying? Push De Gea and that, and then there might be a conversation
Henderson ain't
next
trying to be
season.
number two at Man United and he can play every week.
And that's what I'm saying.
He's
So
it depends where
it depends where he can be. Like, it probably wouldn't be a good career move for him to do that. It depends on the player because he could be like, do you know what? You could sit down with someone. I just believe it. I know I can displace De Gea after 1 year.
He'll want to be England number one.
Yeah.
If he comes to Manchester United to play on the bench, he loses that, innit? So he doesn't do that. That's not an option for him. I think that we have to make a decision on him by the end of next season. We could give him 1 more year, and I feel like by the end of next season, you could ship De Gea.
Or they might say, look, Dean, just do 1 more loan with us.
Yeah, 1 more year.
Stay at Sheffield United.
And then we'll get rid of De Gea in the summer. But either way, I think De Gea's got 1 more year, man, because, like, honestly, he's past his best, and the decline is very clear, innit?
Okay. At UM_United, what's the bigger achievement? Man United treble 99 or Arsenal 2004 invincible? Should we just skip past the question?
What's bigger? 3 trophies instead of 1? Is that even a question?
Yeah, but it was gold though, remember?
Yeah. What colour is your Champions League trophy? Oh yeah. All right. Next question, please.
But when they melt down the gold on the Premier League trophy, like you can cash that in, like cash converters or pawn shop or whatever. You get a lot for it.
No, it's probably gold plated. You know the ones there.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's probably not even. Imagine if that was solid gold. Do you know how much money that'd be worth? That ain't solid gold, bruv. Some gold plated thing, bro. It might even be spray print. You know what I'm saying? The man just sprayed it. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool. At DN, so I hope that answers the question. At the Dienzo_DC says, what positions did you both play growing up? What position do you play?
10.
Is it? Was that your best position? Or you?
Yeah, that was the position. I started as a centre mid, and just because I like being on the ball, but I never had that up and down engine. I went on that, bruv.
He's already running around.
Not on that, bruv.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because remember, when we were growing up, it was 4-4-2, 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And it was big flipping striker. You had to flick it onto the little striker. And I wasn't either of those, innit? Like, I like to just play in the hole, bruv. Cantona was my player that I looked up to, bruv. I like to just play in the hole, innit? So I just played as a striker, but I used to play withdrawn, innit? Like in a 10.
But you just run around and didn't put much effort in. Just give me the ball, I'll make things happen.
And scored better goals. Like I played the old school number 10, like where Bergkamp and Cantona played. Now the number 10 is like an attacking midfielder. But back in the day, your number 10 was your striker, innit? Yeah. So I played in the 10, but up front.
I was straight up striker, straight up number 9.
Innit, proper
shit house,
dirty kit.
To be fair, football weren't my first game. Basketball is my number 1 sport. Anyone who knows me personally, basketball is my number 1 sport. What I was best at. Went to a scholarship, tried to get a scholarship in America, went out to Detroit. But I played National League basketball for MK Lions before they moved and become London Lions actually. But I played National League for them, captain, doing really well. And it wasn't until I stopped playing basketball at like 20 that I actually started getting involved in football properly. Shithouse number 9, arse and elbows, win fouls, wind up centre halves. Was I prolific? No.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be the
made
guy
them
that's
man
going to
earn
get
their money,
you
innit?
30 goals a season, but I will occupy centre-backs all day,
Yeah.
lay in, man, and I'll get you double figures.
Yeah.
That's probably me.
Man
Not
still,
the best
man
touch
still
in the
plays
world.
like that now.
Do you know what I'm saying? Whenever that, yeah, you know what you're going to get from me. In fact, another question about this was from Samindra M, which is Flex and Rants. Did you ever play football, which we just talked about? Who was your footballing idol? You said yours was Cantona.
Yeah, well, it was. It
Or
depends. At
favourite player
United,
growing
it
up.
was.
Yeah.
At Man United, it was Del Piero.
Mine's R9, man.
Yeah,
R9,
mine was
R9.
in Italy. It was definitely Del Piero. Like that was my guy, bruv. Eric Cantona at United.
Yeah.
And
Eric Cantona, favourite man.
And obviously just Ronaldinho. Like growing up,
Yeah,
was
he was
just my
Dino,
favourite
innit?
ever.
When
like,
I think the tech guys,
yeah,
like, you know how Rich is at tech guys is more
Yeah.
like, they just appreciate that art because Ronaldinho just different
Dino
level.
was wavy.
Mine was R9 because I was a striker as well, and I knew I could never be that. But actually, in my era of actually playing ball week in, week out, when I actually did get to just below semi-pro level, it was actually players like Drogba.
Yeah,
Like,
the
because just
physical
that whole
players,
physicality, that whole strong as an ox, that was who I was there.
I love my strikers to actually be like that when I coach teams, innit? Like, I love a target man, bro. Anyone that knows me, like, even though I love the techie side of football, I think that players that can hold the ball up and glue things together, like your Girouds, like your Bobby Zamoras and that, like Mark Vidukas and that, these men are priceless.
Hasselbank I used to like as well.
Because bro,
Solid.
like you see when your team's under pressure and you know that you can hit a man from 40 yards and you can just bring it down and say, all right, boys, let's start again from here.
That's what I think Raul Jimenez is brilliant at.
Yeah, brilliant. But there you go, innit? Like Berber was good at it as well. Like, bro,
Kane's good at that.
those kind of players are priceless, innit? Like, I think that side of the game is dying.
Old school number 9.
Yeah, and I think them players are
Lewandowski,
priceless.
last time breed.
Different.
Last question before we move on to the week ahead and wrap the show up. This is from Fuda Ahmed 14, says, LOL, I asked you lots of times, Flex, but you couldn't answer mine, so that's why I took this question today. My question today is, who is the most underrated player in our team this season, and who is going to win Player of the Year, Bruno or Fred? So I'll let you go and then I'll give mine.
The most underrated player in our team is Fred. And who's going to win our Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Well, it should be Fred, but no, I mean, I don't trust the fan base. So the fans' Player of the Year will probably go to Marcus Rashford, even though he's been out injured because they're just on his bum. And if the players are honest, they have to give it to Fred, man.
I think our most underrated player is a mix of Fred and Bissaka.
Yeah.
And I
don't think Bissaka's underrated.
You think
I think
people
he's
realise
underappreciated.
Underappreciated. Bissaka, I think he puts in a minimum of a 7.
Minimum.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
that's
and
a bad
the 7's
game
a
for
very.
him.
Do you know what I'm saying? I remember a couple of times outside OT, you're like, yeah, I'll give him a 6 or 7, but by his standards, that's not even really. Do you know what I mean? Nothing
Like
really
a
gets
Wan-Bissaka
past.
7 is like an 8 or an 8.5 for other players.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think the player of the season, I think Rashford will be up there because his goals kept us in it at that time. Yeah. But I think it should be going to Fred or Bissaka for me.
Yeah.
The way Daniel James started in them first 4 games, it looked like, oh wow, maybe he's going to get. Yeah. Mason Green was definitely going to get Young Player of the Year.
For sure, gunman, double figures.
But you know what though? I think whatever happens this season, I know there's still 10 games to go, so it could go horribly wrong if he plays badly from here on out. But I'll at the end of the season awards, I'd give a big shout out to Matic because not because like
when he didn't
he's this
leave in
amazing
January,
player.
He's turned it around.
100%, because let's face
we thought
it,
he was out the door.
He was not, even in pre-season, it was all about Scott McTominay. You could see that his place was lost. He had to sit there and watch Scott McTominay do well, and rightly so, keep him at the team. And also probably evaluate his options and thinking, right, well, it's going to get to January, I'm clearly not going to play, I'm probably going to have to be off. Then he's had to come in, keep professional, keep being relied upon, because Scott got a long-term injury, didn't look out of place, kind of kept his place since then as well, which I agree with.
Yep.
I like that.
100%. We thought he was out the door in January. He's got his head down.
Big shout out to him.
And he's playing ball, and he's shown, actually, the importance of a football brain in football, because a lot of people like blood and thunder and that, but the calmness that he's brought to that midfield and the way he reads the game, now he doesn't have to do everything himself, because I think Matic's biggest problem was that because the midfield was lacking in so many areas, he was trying to do too much. He was trying to carry the ball and dribble, trying to pass forward. Matic ain't good at any of those things. When he was at Chelsea, just broke up the play.
Yeah, just keep it simple.
You know what I mean? And now he's allowed to kind of just do that because you've got Fred on form now, you've got Bruno in there, and then you'll have Pogba to come
Changes
back.
the dynamic.
It's changed the whole dynamic and the balance of the midfield, and allowed him to just know that it's all right to just
be you, just do that. Yeah. I would also give a big shout out to Luke Shaw. Actually, I'll tell you why, because he's had to go through a difficult time
He
this
annoyed
year.
me yesterday, but he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. He just
No,
did
didn't do
what he
anything wrong.
does, innit?
Didn't do anything wrong, and he's had to come and see Brandon Williams do very well, burst onto the scene, and keep his professional head and actually try and step it up a gear or try and keep himself relevant. Had to adapt in that 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever you want to call it. Did well in that. And then when Brandon Williams,
I think that he just found his position.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
that in that position,
Done
like,
well.
he's as good as I've seen in that position.
He looks very comfortable.
So comfortable.
It feels like we're doing the end of season rewards. Let's stop doing this.
Yeah.
Right, week ahead. Let's finish off. Week ahead. Derby County, Thursday night, under the lights. Wayne Rooney, Tom Huddleston, masterclass in central midfield.
No chance, bruv. They're getting turned over, mate.
Well, you say this, Rants. Let me give the other side. We've seen what it's like when we shuffle the pack. We have to shuffle the pack.
Ogalo, bruv.
Be Pereira maybe coming in, Lingard coming in, Matt coming in, probably wholesale changes.
If he makes
here and
wholesale changes, I'm worried, innit? But if he goes to a relatively strong team, because think about it, when we played, was it Tranmere?
Yeah.
He played a relatively strong team and we pammed them, innit? And I think we have to play a relatively strong team. Because let's face it, yeah, like we could save all of our players for City, but we could still get worked anyway. So for me, win the cup game, innit?
He's starting Bruno against Derby.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But I would start Ogalo. You know what I mean? I'd probably start Ogalo.
Rest Martial?
Ogalo and Greenwood, West Martial, bruv, because we need him for City.
4-3-3? Agallo, Greenwood, James?
James, yeah.
Okay, James picked up a little bit injury, hopefully he's back. And what midfield? Rest Fred? McTominay, Matic?
Fred doesn't want to rest, bro. Like, you just look at him,
let him
innit?
play,
You just
yeah.
let him play, innit? Like, probably rest Matic, start McTominay, because I think we need Matic for City. So yeah, I'd probably do Matter in the middle, do McTominay, and do Fred. And
Okay.
that's good enough.
And then on to the big one, which is City. I think if we lose that, I know I've said at the beginning of this, technically I'm
If
being
we
a hypocrite.
lose that, top
It
four
feels,
is looking a mad thing.
it's looking bleak. I won't say it's impossible,
Yeah.
because like I said at the beginning of the show, the inconsistencies of the other teams. But I don't know, man, it's so tight in there. To drop points against Everton, then if we go and lose against City, then to have to go to Tottenham and have to win.
Yeah. I have a feeling we'll beat them, though. I really do have a feeling we'll beat Tottenham, man. I just feel like Mourinho's having a tough time against his old clubs, mate.
But to the City thing, it's not unlike Man United
To go
to
and
beat
get
them.
something. I don't
But
know about beat them, but I think we could get something. Do you know what I mean? I think we could get something. Do you know what I mean? And that's not me saying we will. I'm saying we could.
Okay.
You see, the great thing about this United team is no matter what we do, no one's surprised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we win, not surprised. If we draw,
Spectacularly
not surprised. If we lose, like, good evening, bruv. It happens.
We've come to the end of the show, guys. Make sure you smash a like on the video as per usual. Rants, big up the socials.
Just Rants and Bants on Twitter and Instagram, and also on YouTube, guys.
That's it. Check him out. Make sure we got a fight this week. You ready?
Yeah, I got
Fight's on
training.
Derby Day, innit?
Yeah, I got training tonight. Training on Wednesday. Other than that, I'm just gonna keep it light, bruv.
Bring that W back.
That's
Bring
it.
that
Get a
W
massage
back.
on Friday and then get ready.
Get the rub done.
That's
Cool.
it.
I'm Flex UTD across all of the socials as well. And more importantly, make sure you're following United Stand across all the social platforms as well. Drop your views in the comments in the boxes below, as you lot do every week. And also let us know where you're watching from. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Peace.